Soul, the namesake of the program today. And the song was composed in 1930 by Johnny Green, Edward Heyman, Robert Sauer, and Frank Aiton. And it was first performed by singer Gertrude Lawrence in London, England, where it was published in 1930. And you may know Gertrude Lawrence from the first theater productions of the musical The King and I. Body and Soul was then recorded in 1939 by famous jazz saxophonist Coleman Hawkins when he was 35 years old, after playing with Fletcher Henderson, Louis Armstrong, Django Reinhardt, and Benny Carter. Soon after, it was also recorded by none other than Louis Armstrong, arguably the founder of the genre called jazz. It was also recorded in a more conventional style by Paul Whiteman, who first debuted the performance of Rhapsody in Blue. Hawkins's recording is often thought to be the second most important recording for jazz improvisation, the first being Louis Armstrong's West End Blues. This is due to Hawkins' focus on the harmony and phrasing of the composition, all but ignoring the actual written melody. Hawkins' recording is also thought by some to be the harbinger of bebop approaches, virtually devoid of New Orleans stylings or traditional swing conventions of the 20s and 30s. Art lies in the abstraction of common knowledge, and Coleman Hawkins' version of Body and Soul is an exemplary demonstrator of that principle. It is the not so subtle difference between art and entertainment. Hawkins' recording of Body and Soul is not just a popular rendition of the song, it is also an intellectual and artistic statement, using that composition as a vehicle. A comparison can be made to Charlie Parker's Bird of Paradise and version of All the Things You Are, and other such recordings made by bebop musicians in the 1940s, in which the structure of the composition were the only aspects to survive the artist's interpretation. By the late 50s, only Ornette Coleman, the famous avant-garde jazz alto saxophonist, broke the Tin Pan Alley structural lock, hold on jazz, creating works that no longer heeded the 4-bar structures that such compositions held. In Body and Soul, however, Hawkins poured his creativity into extrapolation from the core elements of a more traditional composition, but transcended the mere rendering of a familiar melody. Very little reference to the melody, if any, makes up the performance, and he eschews the melody even from the beginning of the record, possibly to make more room for improvisation on the foreshortened recording modality of the day, the 78 RPM record. The disrendering of the melody defies convention. He was improvising to the idea of the piece instead of being obligated to deliver a predictable song to a popular audience. Hope you enjoy my performance of Body and Soul.